First of all, I think there are things I need to correct myself on from my things I hate in Dreamswap Gacha videos. Video A and I identified as genderqueer while they were still alive, but if they lived longer, they would have found that they are grey gender. They don't mind she/her pronouns, but they have a preference for they/them pronouns, and Dream always used they/them pronouns when referring to them. Ink isn't soulless or emotionless in any way. He was appropriated by the government in his universe because of his supernatural ink powers, and was being trained to become a military weapon. His sash does not contain vials but instead a series of electric pulse applicants that cause him to behave in different ways, depending on whatever one is used. There are different code words that I think are in Greek that I believe are used to activate the electric pulse applicants. They shock him into a controlled state, and he doesn't remember what happens while under the use of them. He used his ink powers to get out of his world. He still wears them out of habit. Dream dislikes it when he uses them because it's unhealthy. Also, some of you said stuff about me saying that you should use the human designs for the characters. This is one Berserkai's thoughts on using the monster designs. So, in the version where all the monsters, skeletons, is Colton the only person? Except ANI of course. Sorry for my bad English, I regret to inform you that I'm basically implying that the skeleton monster version of Dreamswap is like an old version that is no longer supported and being updated for compatibility with Windows 666. I think that's all I need to correct myself on. Now, for the Creepypasta Squad's backstories. Randy came from some nightmare dimension where all the inhabitants are born with a killing instinct directed towards people who accidentally slip into it. Only children can go there, apart from JR apparently, I guess. Randy found that he didn't have these instincts, and only ever wanted to help others. As a result, he was abused and pretty much was a slave because of his kind nature. He managed to escape the dimension before JR wiped it out of existence. Bobby came from a cult that worshipped and sacrificed people to some Earth deity. No one was allowed to speak there, except during rituals. The whole thing was extremely yikes, as in Xavier Jackson from Isaac Beamer vs. the Supernatural yikes. JR ended up wiping out the cult, and took the kids, okay so JR is apparently Karen lol, back to the JR headquarters, and locked up Bobby because he was screaming and fighting them. Bobby ended up getting illegally adopted by Randy, because, you know, that happens sometimes. Hacker used to work at a 7-Eleven, hacking people's debit cards, until one day, he was kidnapped by a gang because he hacked into their database, and was forced to work for them. Then stuff happened, and Hacker stayed in the meme squad's basement, hiding from JR until they decided he was annoying and kicked him out. He ended up living with Randy and Bobby. And probably works at another 7-Eleven. Also I ship Colton and Hacker simply because the ship exists. So yeah, pretty different from the original horror, Dust, and Killer, but oh well. Time for Finch's backstory.